a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. I'm currently joined by Ranty Flat Earth, and we've just had 2 super chats from the Mind of God, so a massive shout out to Mind of God. You'll hear this on the re-up on Nathan Oakley channel as opposed to in the live show. But how you doing, Ranty? Good to have you.
Yeah, doing good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Few things I could complain about, but I won't.
Go on, complain.
Oh, nothing. Just, I think I've told you about it last week. Somebody smashed into my wife's car when I was at the swimming baths. So normally I walk absolutely everywhere, but because she's off for maternity leave, I actually got to have the car, and I parked it up like I would, you know, like you do. Came back, door crunch. I'm like, oh, great. There's obviously a bit of oil needed on that hinge. Get back and realise that the whole thing's been smashed in by somebody. Oh, wonderful. Hello, Chocolate.
Good morning, guys.
Ah, so the link, I figured out how to get the link working then.
Hey, Chucky.
What's up, Ranty? You guys doing?
Well,
So we've both had trouble with our cars then recently.
Well, what was the problem you had? I do vaguely remember you saying you had an issue with your car.
Yeah, coming back from Scotland, the head gasket went.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
New engine time.
Yeah. So it took like a day and a half for them to actually get the car back to the garage. The garage then said it wasn't the head gasket, so they repaired a bunch of other stuff on it. And the day that we were supposed to get it back, they then said, "Oh, actually, no, the head gasket has gone." We didn't have a car for like a week or so until we actually found us a courtesy car. So we're driving around this old banger, but at least it gets us around. That's the main thing.
The banger
Still got
yours?
not car back yet though.
Is the banger yours or just a loaner?
No, it's a loaner. It's a loaner from the garage, but you know, we had to do without for like, well, it was in the garage for 5 days before they even managed to get hold of a car for us to use.
Yeah, cars are an endless, bottomless pit of money, aren't they?
For sure. And we don't even know if this is going to work. You know, I mean, it's a head gasket. You know yourself, if they skim it, quite often it'll just go again.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. I'm not expecting great things from it. Let's be honest.
That live show in about 30 seconds. Didn't realise how late it was. Hopefully going to squeeze 2 shows in today because I've started early.
Okay.
Oh, is that why you're 2 hours early right now?
No, well, no, it's now British summertime here, so we've gone forward an hour, and then because it's a Monday and I've got a Spanish class, I've decided to squeeze 2 shows in. I would start an hour early, so for you it's 2 hours early.
Okay.
But no, it'll be
Basically
regularly an hour
back to
earlier than it was because of British summertime.
Gotcha, I gotcha.
Right, let's get this show on the road.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, Then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on Facebook and Twitter. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. Straight away, a shout out to Colin Turner for hitting the super chat. Likes to get in during the intro each time. We're also joined by Ranty Flat Earth and Chocolate Satan. Good to have you both.
Good day.
Good morning.
Oh, shout out to Eagle, Plane and Anchor as well for also hitting the super chat. Thank you very much for your support, guys. Really do appreciate it. This is probably going to be the calmest housekeeping, slightly extended because Ranty's on the panel, so the questions get that little bit longer. Any signs of Earth-based curvature?
Don't be so ridiculous, Nathan.
I think we would have found it by now.
You'd hope. Unfortunately not. It should be from every vantage point, for everybody. But no, alas, no curvature. Any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
Don't be so ridiculous, Nathan.
It is stupid.
I gotta not agree. Over here, anyway. Maybe it's spinning somewhere else, but it's not spinning over here.
No, not spinning here. Definitely stationary. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Oh, don't be so ridiculous, Nathan.
It is kind of silly. Take that as a no.
That would be a no for me too.
Fair enough. What about the distance to the sun?
Don't be so ridiculous, Nathan.
Oh, but it's a thing. We might have a distance to it one day. I'm sure someone will run up to it with a tape measure. Why not? Just because the globe heads assume
losing the will to live here, Nath.
Well, just because the globe heads assume it's really, really, really far away doesn't necessarily mean it is. You know, I have no idea how far the sun is, but maybe one day someone will run a tape measure or a bit of string or whatever. No,
yeah,
no distance to sun.
Forever trying to find that thing.
Yeah, well, I'm just tired of. I ask because I genuinely would like to know. I mean, if you just go by the globe heads assumptions, you're going to be assuming R and assuming Venus is the same size as the presupposed Earth with its R. You know, that kind of nonsense is just kind of nonsense. It'd be nice to know what it is and where it is and how far it is and all that kind of stuff, but we haven't got the vaguest clue. So distance is the most concise way of asking that question. You know, what the hell is the sun? We don't know. That's the bottom line. Anyway, moving on. Any evidence that we can have a gas pressure without a container? For all of those who believe that you have gas pressure, obviously we do here on Earth, and a vacuum right next to it. So a containerless heliocentric world, defying the second law of thermodynamics. Any evidence that that is possible?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Go and look outside your front door.
Well, that would be evidence that we have gas pressure, and the necessary antecedent for gas pressure is a container. Hence my question being for gas pressure being maintained without the necessary antecedent of a container, as that is what the heliocentric world is. An open system next to a vacuum, which obviously isn't possible. But
yeah, the vacuum's the container, Nathan.
Yeah, a vacuum's definitely not a container. It's something that you could disperse into if you were a gas pressure, though. That's for absolute certainty.
What are you guys talking about? I've heard plenty of globers tell me there's a pressure gradient. So, I mean, I don't know.
Same principle applies. A gradiated pressure is still a pressure, and to have a pressure in the first instance, you need the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon. So without the container, there can be no pressure, and the vacuum they allege is the sky would facilitate the dispersion of all the gas that we have into that vacuum. So by virtue of the fact that we do have gas pressure, that would kind of indicate that we have the necessary antecedent, the thing required to have that gas pressure, i.e. something to press upon, as opposed to a vacuum.
Okay.
If it was a vacuum, we'd all be dead, because the gas would fill the space. So the sky is not a vacuum. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
That's just horse shit, Nathan.
It is, of all of them on the list. It is total nonsense. Molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth.
Ranty, I'm loving this, Ranty.
What a load of old crap. Nothing but cartoons and belief. 12k is the deepest they've gone. Anyway, what about the R value itself, the presupposition they all hold so dear? Any evidence of Earth radius?
Well, Timmy's taken it out now, so I think you shoved it up far enough. He can't find it though.
Oh yeah,
So
has he been out looking?
in that case, no, there is no proof of R.
Said he'd been out looking. He mentioned something in the comment section. I was like, great, join, links in the info box. Hopefully he'll join on. Tell us all about his measuring of R. See if there's any presuppositions involved. See if he's actually got something that's curving that he's measured. We shall see. Hopefully, you just don't know.
Wait. Who measured R?
Tim is claiming to have measured R. That's what he said in the comment section. Obviously, I laughed heartily.
Right.
I think that's it. I think we're done. Other than CGI Ranty in the chat spamming all sorts of emoticons. Oi, CGI Ranty. Thanks for taking part. That concludes the housekeeping.
No worries.
It'd be great if somebody could actually join from the live chat, because over the weekend I did have some issues, and then just getting Ranty and Chocolate on from Skype caused an issue. So the link is in the info box. If someone can join, even if you don't necessarily want to say hello, just so we can check it all works, that'd be really appreciated. Yeah, we did a Ballbusters, and Betty sent me a list of ideas, and one of the ideas was, at the end of the presentation, open it up like the debate. Just have a hangout on the side that you can stick people in like a holding pen, so if they arrive before the presentation's finished. And I was like, yeah, that's a wonderful idea. There's a danger of becoming an echo chamber. Hey, James, thanks for joining. Did you join from the public link, I take it? Yeah, well, that's good enough for me. I know it works. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. So yeah, she said put in the link towards the end of the show, and then we did, and then there was just lots of dead air because it didn't work. Nobody joined, so it kind of bolts at the end of the show. But then it was all good because we had an after show afterwards. But Alwyn kind of played that role anyway, because he was, banging on about gravity like he does.
Oh, I bet that went down well.
No, it was useful. I mean, the whole point of Ballbusters is to kind of make John's information a bit more manageable or a bit more digestible to an audience. So it obviously will involve some discussion in between his presentations. Whereas up until now, he's just, he's put them together, and rather than having anybody, interrupt or discuss what's being said there, and then he doesn't want to lose his flow, because he's not a public presenter at the end of the day, and he's putting these things together and then just reading them out, because that's the best way you can present them. But as he's done them more and more, he obviously started off a couple of years ago doing them on Cathexis' channel, and then did a few on mine under the same title, Science versus Scientism, and then he altered them and did them afresh with Science versus Pseudoscience. But it was a similar, he's still obviously reading off the screen, so, to the untrained eye, it's exactly the same format, which it is, but the presentations were just different. So now he's gone, well, I'm kind of familiar with doing these presentations now. I'm, more than happy for people to interject and maybe even debate the subject during or after the presentation. And I'm like, great, that's wonderful, because when, no offence to John, it's the same with anybody. If you've got somebody reading vast chunks of information, it is more difficult to take in than if it's being discussed. Do you know what I mean? It's just more digestible if you're discussing it. So that's kind of what Ballbusters offers. John's information is exceptionally well researched. It's all referenced, the citations. Why not? Why not present that in a different style that's a bit more friendly to the audience? So I'm delighted. Ballbusters has been extremely well received, considering it was only devised in the first instance to fill a gap on the Sunday when it first went out, when Globebusters wasn't going out. Now Globebusters is out, and it's continued on a Saturday. So it's not competing with Globebusters, but ultimately speaking, people have liked it, so I've done more of them, and the people who go on it as well. Arwen enjoyed himself on this Saturday just gone. We've had Slick James on, he same principle, really enjoyed doing it. obviously myself, John and Betty will hopefully be the ones that are there the majority of the time. Hopefully you'll come on at some stage, Ranty. You know, it is absolutely the same format as Globebusters. In that respect, we've completely ripped them off because we're doing similar things to them. But there's no harm in that. More variety is better, especially if the information is good. So I'm pleased that we are, you know, imitation is the highest form of flattery. If you're watching this, anybody from Globebusters, take it as a compliment. So yeah, it's going really, really well. Hopefully, like I say, Ranty, at some stage you'll come on and show us some of your pictures. Did you notice that Karen B had used Ghost Boat in her latest presentation?
Oh, no. Was it mine? Are you sure that was mine, Ghost Boat?
I think so. It's the one where, you'll remember if I describe how you presented it to us.
So where it disappears, you mean, and comes back?
Where it's going in front and it looks like it's about to go behind. And then it's like, whoa, it's in front. Do you remember? So you've got the Stena line reflecting below it. So it looks like, well, it can't possibly go in that gap because there's a mirage of the word Stena line underneath. And then it does.
I know the one you mean. No, I've not seen that. I'll look it up for sure.
Well,
when did you release the video?
Say again.
When did you put the video out?
This morning. So it's literally a few hours. It's literally the first thing I watched this morning. And it was a really good presentation. It was about the sunset. And it's like a culmination of all of the information that everybody's deduced to date, put into a really digestible format again. So it's just, it's relatively short. I think it's less than 10 minutes. But yeah, I really enjoyed watching it. Obviously, Karen's very good at narrating, but her descriptions were good. You know, she even made a few disclaimers, which made me very happy indeed. So she when she put the azimuthal equidistant projection up, she was like, "This is just a way of depicting it. You know, I don't think this is the world that we live in necessarily. It's just a way of being making it easier for you to visualize." So I was like, "Great." So I could even share it, couldn't I? No, it's too long. I will just share it in the chat rather than actually play it. So where's the share button gone? There we go, share. So this is Karen B's video. It is called, let's get the title correct, How the Sun Sets on a Flat Earth. So if you're not subscribed to Karen B already, go and subscribe to her immediately. There's her, that's the video if you just want to watch that video so you know what we're talking about. But if you're not subscribed to Karen B, subscribe to her today. There's the link. Knock yourselves out. But yeah, just a good video. So well worth watching. It doesn't take a huge amount of your time of your day as well, which I always like. He says with his 2-hour debates.
Did you I don't know if you got a chance to watch Globebusters last night, Nathan?
I didn't.
Okay, well, Professor Dave Explains is a channel that's appeared out of nowhere essentially, especially when he's talking about flat Earth and such. But quite a large channel, or so you would think. 367,000 subscribers, Nathan. Did a video against flat Earth.
That's a proper YouTube channel then.
Yes. Do you want to pop me on screen?
Yeah, I can do.
And I'll show you his videos. Let me know.
I've seen one of this guy's videos. Yes.
Have you?
He played on autoplay. Yes, he did like a little crappy. From memory, this is really long, not long time ago, but just my memory's just not great. He started talking about science and then immediately referenced a model. And I remember listening to it going, models are pseudoscience, what are you talking about? So he was immediately off to the false dichotomy of globe versus pizza. Well,
here's this video against flat Earth, and currently it has 20,000 views, which you'd expect because flat Earth is a pretty hot topic right now. But here's the thing with these guys, these professors and anti-flat earthers. I mean, just look at how little views he's got on all these other stuff. 797 views, 747, 1 point. He's got 367,000 subscribers, Nathan.
That just sounds like nonsense. If you've got 300,000 subscribers, you don't end up with videos that have got... Can I see one with 19 views there?
Yeah, 639 views, 797... At 513, 1.9, 1.5, 1.1, 1.2. Let's go down a bit further. 1.7, 979, 613, 2000, 2001. Go a bit further. 656. It's a fake channel. That's all I can say. I'm looking at a guy that's got
not a fake channel, just maybe fake subs, because
fake subs. Yeah,
if you've got that many people following you, then there's a good chance that a higher percentage than that would watch each video, right?
Either that, or they've subscribed and they've just realised that you've got a useless channel with no content worth watching. In which case, why they still subscribe to him, I have no idea. Anyway, so Globebusters devoted an entire show basically to debunking this clown. And I was sort of like scratching my head thinking, well, why would you bother debating somebody? You know, sort of like, are you taking him by this subscriber count? You know, 367,000 subscribers. But I mean, look how few views they've got. You know, it's obviously, it's just like Simon Dunn, basically, you know, when he set off, when he started doing his stuff. We all know that he got his subscribers in one way or the other. How he got them, we don't know. But this guy, you know, is clearly faking it to make it, you know? Is that what they call it? Faking it to make it, Nate?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, that's for sure.
Here's another thing that I wanted to show you. This is Simon Dunn's Patreon. It was quite interesting because I was I was keeping an eye on what he was actually saying, what he was going to do. So when he put his first $100 thing up, he said that a total of $100 will allow me to up the production quality of my videos. Right. Okay. So he's now at $1,675 a month. Do you think the production quality of his videos are better?
I don't watch Simon Dunn. I've no idea how good the production quality of his videos is or whether or not it's improved. I've no idea. You tell me.
Do you think he has better picture, better sound and editing? It will allow him to up his release schedule to twice weekly. Now, let me just be quite clear on this. When he reached $100, he was still doing just one video a day for another 2 months. He didn't go up to two a week, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, this guy's just, he's on the make. I mean, he doesn't put back into what he actually says. He says here, when he gets 250, not only will his production quality be significantly better, right? He's still sitting in his corner. I will be able to source more reading materials to expand my knowledge. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen him expanding his knowledge in any way, shape, or form. He's still talking. He's still talking Hawkman. Let's be honest. So yeah, just nothing at all.
I had someone pull me up on my Patreon. So on my, you know this because you helped me set it up, and I'll just talk in the third person, Ranty. Excuse my ignorance or rudeness. So Ranty and I are setting up Patreon, and Ranty says, well, you've got to set a target. And I'm like, okay, well, what do I put in there? And he was like, well, just be honest. I said, okay, well, I'm currently looking at, and then I listed off all my broken equipment. And I was like, this needs fixing, that needs fixing, that's about to die, this is broken, this is broken. And he's like, well, just put that then. So I ended up rattling off something to the effect of, I need to maintain my equipment. And it was fairly short and concise, and it was just to the point and honest. You know, what will I spend my money on? Talking to Patreon, they've frozen my account, by the way, Ranty. I don't know if you know that or not. Oh, wow. So apparently there's suspicious activity on my Patreon, so that will presumably take some time to figure out that nothing dodgy is going on. Well, not to my knowledge anyway. There better not be anything dodgy going on, because otherwise presumably I won't actually get the money in the first instance to even maintain the equipment. But anyway, my point isn't that. My point was, so I put that down because that's just the situation I'm in. My equipment's literally from the last century. You know, it's like from pre-millennial equipment, a lot of it. So it's a bit knackered, a bit old. Anyway, so I put that in there, and then after the fact, a few people have obviously gone to my Patreon, seen what I've written, and then just decided, oh, that's a good blag. I'll use that. And then I've seen people in comments asking these, I'm not going to name and shame who, but a few people, well, what equipment? What are you talking about? You know, what equipment that do you need to buy or needs maintaining? And there's never any list that's forthcoming, right? And then someone did it to me. They're like, hold on, you're asking for $500 a month. How can you possibly need $500 a month in maintenance? And then I just listed off like the last 3 repairs. I was like, well, I've sent my amp in twice and my preamps died. And it was literally just after it had shut down on Globebusters. So I was like in the middle of talking, and then for some reason they were all like, can you not hear us? I don't know, but my preamps just shut itself down. Just another fault. But that's just one of the endless list of things that when you've got old aging equipment, yeah, it's wonderful and I can do a really good job if it all works. But when it doesn't, you look like a right dick because you can't hear the people you're talking to. So in other words, there's a legitimate reason, but it just amused me that other people also use that reason. And they haven't got anything to maintain. You know, they might have a mic and a computer, and that's it.
I'm sure Simon done films off a camera, off a phone camera or something. His quality is just the same. There's nothing's really changed, at all. He's not increased his knowledge in any way, shape, or form. He still hasn't produced a single shred of evidence for anything. It's just
He comes in my second channel. He comes into chat in my second channel for some reason. He's not subscribed. Well, I don't know if he is not subscribed to the main channel, this channel, but certainly in the after shows. I might as well plug my own channel. Why not? So if you're watching this on Nathan Oakley 1980 live, and you're unaware, the after show and pre-show goes out at UK time 10 PM each night. So before the show started and after the show ends, there'll be a continuation of the show, and that extra bit goes out on my second channel, which is Nathan Oakley, at 10 PM each day. Anyway, that's where Simon Dancy seems to rear his head, so we'll come into the secondary chat and watch the after show, and it's a bit kind of repeatish of the Conspiracy Cats debacle in the respect that rather than asking, like I did with Conspiracy Cats, how can we have gas pressure without a container, it's what's your scientific evidence for gravity. So I think I'm up to 35 times now I've asked him the same question, which he just obfuscates, ignores, or doesn't answer. I think so far he's offered dropping a pen. I think that was his first gambit. He did come out with something else as well. I can't remember what. It eludes me at this moment, but he did come up with something else as well, which definitely wasn't scientific evidence. So he did make a couple of stabs at it, but to date he's been asked, as I say, 35 times for his scientific evidence of gravity, and like the physicist on Arwen's show, or the trainee, let's call him, he didn't have any. So we'll see. Maybe Simon Dunn will be forthcoming with some scientific evidence of gravity.
Yeah, I think pigs will fly more.
Are we talking about the bird landing guy?
Yeah, bird landing guy, you've got it.
Right.
Am I still presenting, Nath?
I've just put you up, actually, with your boats.
Oh, yeah, Panda Boat. Panda Boat is ace. So, as you know, we went down to Wales to...
Did you say Panda Boat?
Panda Boat, yeah. Can you not see it's a panda? Stripes, look at it.
So you got a shark boat and you got a panda boat.
Oh, Panda Boat now. Panda Boat. Oh, Panda Boat is ace. Look at this. Look at this.
I'll butt out on...
So we went down to Wales to do the observation down there, and we hired a boat and all kinds of stuff. A host of different things went wrong, which meant that basically we just had footage of the location with different boats in the distance and stuff. So we were able to still get some victories out of it, including this beautiful piece of footage here, which was called the Iceni Conquest. Now, to the top of this boat, so let's show you. So to the very top there, where the mast is, at the very top, to the very bottom, you're talking 33 feet in height. Now, this boat was 9.22 miles away at this time when I captured this particular image. You can track its GPS signal, so it was actually stationary for quite a time in this position. So it was dead easy to find its exact position. My elevation above sea level was 7 feet. All this kind of stuff went into begging the curve calcs. With refracted hidden, we're talking nearly 19 feet of the boat should have been missing, right? So just looking at the boat, and if you actually put 19 feet off the 33, basically you'll be taking it up to the cabin. So essentially where my cursor is now, that's where the curve calcs would say that there should be a hump of water between me and it, and that hump of water would have blocked off everything beneath my cursor on the boat. However, this was the image that we actually got. And actually, I've got a video of this boat actually moving through the water, and also the wake that follows it. So where it's...
Oh, this is the one with the wake. Oh, this is awesome.
This is the propeller wake.
I have to contain myself. Sorry, Ranty. You carry on.
And yeah, so this is Panda Boat. And as you can see, what I've done is I've got two images of Panda Boat. So I've got the Iceni Conquest up here, and also to the bottom left. It's the same image, same size, nothing's changed. But what I've done is I've scaled it to the width. So from the front of the boat here to the little thing sticking out here at the cabin to the back of the boat, so I've scaled it to width. But when you actually put that image down at the bottom left, and you can see how it is actually compressed, it's actually squished down. So the height has been reduced. It's retained its width, from left to right, but it's lost height. Now, this is quite important because it is due to perspective. Absolutely. If you look at Life is Short's latest video, he details this quite marvelously, actually, and it does make a lot of sense that things will start to compress when they get near to the horizon. So go and check his video out. But essentially, we are seeing all of this boat. There is nothing missing on this boat. We see the wake of the boat in the video, proving that we're seeing actually down to essentially the bottom of the boat. Where's the missing people? Where's this 19 feet of refracted hidden? And that's giving them the 7.6R. Where we shouldn't see 3/4 of this boat, yet we do. Absolutely perfect. So yeah, it was a great result for Flat Earth, this particular capture anyway.
I'm just bringing up the Life is Short video so I can share that in the chat as well.
Sure.
So while I'm doing that, it's worth pointing out, you can see the obvious compression. Oh, you've taken it off screen already.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Hang on, I'll just put it back up one sec.
That's all right. I'm spamming the Life is Short chat while you're doing that anyway. So check out Life is Short. There's his link. So you can probably, I don't know if you want to do it with your mouse, Ranty, so you can see the front tip where it goes in.
Here.
Yeah, you've got it. So you've got this like triangle section, and obviously it's going back in on itself towards the bottom, towards the horizon line, and obviously you're not losing any of this boat. It's just completely squashed to all frig at the bottom. Did you have the footage, Ranty, of it tracking with the wake?
Yeah, if you give me 2 minutes, I'll dig it up and I'll find
no
it
worries.
for
I'll
you.
stick the I'll stick your images on of the river in Scotland.
Okay, no worries.
In case you're not aware, my new backdrop pictures were taken by Ranty, so he went up to Scotland and didn't necessarily get visibility for any flat earthy stuff, so he just took some tranquil images instead. Oh, is this it? Shall I stick it up, Ranty?
And let me just make sure that it's moving. Yeah, that is the boat.
Let me know when you're
So
ready.
let me
I'll
get
stick
it
you up.
when it's moving. Because it turns around, stays in the same spot, then it turns around, then it moves. Oh, here we go. Maybe you don't get a lot of it. There is another video I have of this. I'll have to dig it out.
No worries. I haven't got you presented. I'll just so it doesn't confuse the audience. I'll wait till you've actually got the one you want, and then I'll stick you up.
Okay, no worries.
It's going to be a quiet morning anyway, because we've started technically for the Americans 2 hours early, so it's probably like 6 AM for some of them. I think definitely works though.
It is now 8:28 Eastern time in America.
Oh, it's not as early as I thought. Still, you can still taste the toothpaste at that time, right?
I've been at work since 6, so toothpaste gone already.
Yeah, fortunately, rest a little bit easy and just think, it's because it's early as opposed to it's because the link doesn't work. Thanks to another shout out to Jimbo.
That's that one.
Getting a load of crap from the Limitless channel.
Who, me?
Yeah, Andy's going on about Globusters Gyro.
Why am I getting crap from him?
Something about the quality of your pictures, usual shit.
What?
Usual stuff.
Oh, right, okay. I've seen his footage with an iPhone. The last time he went down to the beach, he used an iPhone. So, I don't think we can compare.
Yeah, sounds garbage. Yeah, he came on the show and moaned about why we weren't debunking the gyro. So I gave him the actual concise debunking for any gyro rather than just their gyro and their assertions about it. In terms of the two reference frames that are required.
Well, why doesn't he join the panel right now and tell me how shit my photography is?
Yeah, he's welcome to. If you want to join Ronnie, you're welcome to.
I'd love to see his proofs as well, visual proofs. You can bring them as well. Let's see what he's got.
He's lolling away now, so presumably it's just a laugh.
Yeah, all he is just he's a clown, isn't he? His whole channel's a clown as well. He bought all those. Eh?
Just let him do the ad homs. As soon as they get to the point where they're ad homing you, in this case you, it's like you might as well admit defeat.
I'm still waiting for my apology. That's what I'm waiting for.
Oh, for the turbines.
Yeah. You know, he made a whole series of hit pieces about the turbines, and then when I said, he said that he would do the biggest apology in the history of YouTube if I was to prove the footage that I was doing was real. So I did a live stream of it.
Hey, Limitless channel. So Gleam immediately put something to you, Limitless channel. He says he doesn't.
I'm here. You want to talk, Porsche? Go ahead.
Yeah, well, tell us about these wind turbines. Tell us how they're
Let's talk about Bob's evidence first. Throw it up on the screen, Nathan.
Go on, then put your evidence up. Let's see your iPhone shit.
Well, hold on. Are you there, Ranty, with your wake?
Yeah.
Sorry, say again, Nate.
Before we lose track of what you were actually doing, have you got the footage of that boat with the wake going behind it?
Yeah, we can watch a little tiny bit of it if you like.
Yeah, I'll stick you up.
I don't seem to have the one I'm looking for. It's probably on a different drive, but
okay. Well, you presented anyway.
Maybe I need to do it slower.
If you call me out, let's address it. And your windmill footage, you're putting your camera in the water. We know exactly what you're doing. We went out and tested it.
Okay.
Oh, put your camera as low as you possibly can.
Ronnie, we will get to it.
Appear that there's more curvature, because the lower your camera, the smaller your field of view.
Okay.
You guys still aren't talking about how Bob's literally spinning a gyro, trying to tell people that that's the Earth's spin. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Hey, Physics Warrior, how you doing?
What do you think about this, then, Ronnie? What do you think about this, then, Ronnie? Perfect flat Earth proof. Why do you think I'm showing this?
I see a winter snowy scene.
Oh, so you're full of shit then? That way,
that's not
fake flat earther.
So
no, you're the fake flat earther. You're a retard.
Let's descend into immediate ad hominems, right? So it's quite a fair distance.
Well, Ranty answers the question every time he opens his mouth.
Hey, Spurs.
How do you think this is flat Earth proof, Ranty? I'm clicked on your image now. I can see what you're talking about.
I see a boat.
Is that great flat Earth proof?
I see a boat. I shouldn't see it.
Okay. How low is your camera to the ground?
7 feet.
Okay. How far away is the boat?
9.22 miles.
Okay, great. So what is the reason that the bottom of the boat is obscured?
It's not obscured. You're seeing all of the boat.
You see all of the boat, yeah.
You know how retarded that sounds? Everything else you said was good. Until you went with that.
All right. Okay, so you didn't actually
You're telling me the entirety of the bottom of the boat is being squashed.
Yeah.
You know how stupid that is?
Yes, look. There we go. How's that, Ronnie? Look at that.
I could squash images too.
Wait, hang on a minute. Can you see that? Can you see the browny blue part at the top? Then you've got white, blue, white, blue. That's all of the boat. Blue, white, blue, white, blue.
You think I'm retarded?
All of the boat, Ronnie.
Well, hold on, Ranty. You have something amazing here then, because he thinks you've doctored this. He thinks that you've manipulated this image, and this is something that anybody can go out.
What I'm saying is, the lower you put your camera, the smaller the field of view. The vanishing point is brought closer to you. Objects beyond the vanishing point appear to be obscured from the bottom up.
So you're saying this is fake footage, then, Ronnie? You're gonna say
hold on, just 1 second, Ranty. Just 1 second, Ranty. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Vanishing point.
Hold on. Yeah, correct, Ronnie. However, in this instance, the boat that you see is on the diffraction limit. So it's not gone. It's not disappeared from bottom up yet. It is severely compressed, but it's all there. That's the point.
Well, the top section that we can obviously see is within your circle of sight due to its height, because the object's your viewing's height is also what is the factor in being able to see how far that object is. If the boat had no top deck, you would only see that bottom part that's just sticking above the waterline.
But it does have.
Well, that's nonsense. Hold on. You're saying if the top wasn't there, you wouldn't see it. Okay, well that's meaningless. Yes, if it didn't have a top deck, we wouldn't see a top deck. That's lovely.
Okay, if the top were more levels high, then you would see more of it for a longer distance. The higher an object is, the further you can see it. The higher your vantage point, the further you can see on the flat Earth.
Yes, thank you, Ronnie. Not that we've been exposing that for the last 4 months, but yes, that's correct. Thank you. In this instance, though, it's on the limit. It's not beyond the limit. So, yes, your perspective, what did you call it? Your vanishing point comes closer as you get lower. Yes, absolutely correct. In this instance, though, with the power of the P1000, 9 miles, and there it is, just squashed.
All there, though, Ronnie.
But the top stuff has got a wider angle, so is less squashed. Got a bigger angle of view to the top of the boat than you do the bottom.
But rather you were on board, Ronnie, than just attack. I mean, try to understand what's being said, at the very least.
It goes against his...
I hear you guys. I just know that when objects reach the vanishing point, they become obscured from the bottom up. Just as when an object's approaching, you'll see the top of the object first.
But why does it vanish at the vanishing point? That's what we're looking into. We're looking into this phenomenon. We're looking into the horizon. Ronnie, we're looking into this phenomenon.
Let him answer. Let him answer. Let him answer.
Oh, sorry.
No, I actually think it's great that there's people out doing observations. I just toe the line of absolute truth, and that's why I really didn't want to get on here and argue with you guys.
You're not. You're agreeing with us. Hey, P Mars, how you doing?
The most important thing is I'm just hoping that people look at Globebusters' experiment. They're actually spinning a gyroscope saying that the Earth is spinning. It's pretty funny.
No, they're not saying that, Ronnie. Come on.
They're saying that.
Yeah, but that got put to bed already.
It didn't get put to bed by a hypothetical experiment where Nathan explains 2 reference frames. No, they're literally spinning a gyro saying that that is the Earth's movement. It's that simple to explain.
Who is saying that that's the Earth's movement?
Yes, they were saying. Well, they're saying it's the rotation of.
Who is they?
Hey, Flat
Who is they?
It's
all retarded. When you see something spinning and it's a measuring device, you know that spinning is what it's measuring. Okay, that's all.
All right, and that doesn't prove the Earth's rotation, so I don't see what the problem is.
Well, nobody else is holding them accountable. That's all. You know, I don't want to have to be the only person doing this, but when I bring it up, nobody does any research.
I've definitely held them accountable. Definitely, yes. I would definitely put my hand in the air and say I've held them accountable.
You've talked about a hypothetical experiment. You haven't looked at what his evidence that he presented was. That's all I'm trying to do here.
Have you not been keeping up to date with the flat Earth debate?
The principle that's being employed is the Coriolis effect, which requires 2 reference frames. So
the Coriolis effect has nothing to do with the gyro experiment, where it's literally the gyro spinning, Nathan. That's my problem.
Yeah, sorry, I don't give a crap how it operates or how you don't understand how it operates. The fact is it's a demonstration of 2 reference frames if you are to assert that it proves the Earth spins. That's the bit I'm concerned with, the assertion that
the gyro itself is spinning.
So do you understand that in order for it to demonstrate the Earth spinning, it needs to be 2 reference frames, right? Does that not make sense to you? Shout out to Joey Sly for the super chat.
You're right, Nathan. I'm crying that people actually look at what they're trying to do. And just like the Michelson-Morley and the Sagnac and all these interference patterns, all of this stuff that they're bringing up is no different than NASA science. It's thought experiments. It's made up. There's no physical, tangible evidence. It's CGI and cartoon drawings, period.
I'd agree. It's not scientific evidence. I've held them to task on that as well. So, you know, to say, why aren't you holding to... Yeah, I have.
I think what it is, Ronnie, is you know, I mean, not that you do anything wrong, but I think you want to come from the biblical perspective of.
This has nothing to do with the Bible. It's not straw man.
Hold on, sorry, 1 second, 1 second. Sorry, hey Slick, how you doing?
Hello, good morning.
That is a complete straw man. He didn't mention the Bible. He hadn't mentioned God.
No. I'm not saying that he's saying that. I'm just saying that as a whole, we hear the message. There's one side who are pushing a satanic agenda of flat Earth, and you want maybe this biblical side of flat Earth. But I think what it is, the people who are not like religious, Ronnie, I think they just want just to know things.
So if I'm biblical and I speak the truth, that nullifies it. That means that
no, but it doesn't. But
I'm just here for the truth.
And what it means is that it's not. Why would you attack others who are just trying to find,
attacking by calling people out and showing their experiments and bringing them to task? Ranty's still up here, and we supposedly quote unquote attacked Ranty. He's still doing fine.
Yeah, you did, and you didn't apologize either.
I did apologize.
Did you? Right. Okay. I'll hold you to that then.
I did. I said Ranty's footage is authentic. We were wrong. And I said, what he's doing is he's putting his camera as low as possible, therefore creating the appearance of fake curvature.
You see, this is where you and I differ. Whereas you would prefer that I would only ever show perfect flatness, which, bearing in mind, I have done dozens of times.
No,
right? I also look into it from the other side of things, and I'm going to say, look, okay, so they have hoodwinked us for hundreds of years. How are they able to do this? Well, take the average person. The average person is 6 foot high. What happens when they go down to the beach? If I was just to film it at 6 foot high, 5 foot high, 4 foot high, we're not going to get all the answers about what's going on at the horizon. We need to understand that point. And to be fair, in the past 6 months, Flat Earth has smashed it out of completely smashed it. And a lot of that was down to actually taking it and tackling it head on and saying, why are we seeing these effects at the horizon? Smashed optics.
Show me what have you done? Show me a video.
Can I ask you a question, Ronnie?
If it's true, I'll share it, please. I just want to see your evidence of what you're talking about.
You're saying Ranty is showing fake curvature, right? Well,
no, I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
The lower you put your camera, the smaller your field of view is. The closer the vantage point becomes. That's what I said.
Yeah, we agree. But in order to disseminate that information, Ranty actually had to go out and do this. One of the specific things that he did, Ronnie, was look at the wind turbines. And in almost every instance from the globe side, they're saying curve, 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 curve. And then you get someone like Life is Short, who's currently in the chat. I've just spammed his link. Who comes out and actually describes it accurately. It's linear. It's linear, not curving. And that is just the effect of perspective in terms of those wind turbines. But Globeheads and you were both singing the same tune. It's curvature, it's curvature. It's like, no, it's not. It's linear. It's perspective.
I never said it was curvature ever.
Oh, okay. Well, what would you be apologizing for then?
I was apologizing that I said that he CGI'd the footage when I realized the way that you achieve that view or that look is by literally almost lowering your camera into the water.
But you do realize that I did it from not just 1 inch, but 50 foot in height and elevation. I mean, I haven't actually just gone. I've built a mountain of data to actually find out what is going on with perspective, and I've put those videos out, not just on my channel, but I showed it a lot on Nathan's. And other people have used this work and taken my my observations forward and enhanced what I already thought I was seeing and put it concisely. Look at Life is Short's videos. It explains it very concisely. So, everyone's on board now with perspective. Everybody's on board with perspective now, right?
Yeah, and I'd like to see that. If you've got the same observation from 50 feet high and you can measure how far out that windmill is, then yeah, you're doing a good work there on the vanishing point experiment. So I'll commend you for that. That's good.
Well, I'm glad you're getting on board here, because I'm not a glober. I'm a complete flat earther here, Ronnie. I've been doing this for I've dedicated an entire year of my life.
What's with your image, though? Your icon image, though?
Sorry to interrupt. We've been joined by a guest. So we were joined by Bob, who claimed that he's blocked in chat. Nobody is blocked on the main channel in chat, Bob. So don't know if you're Bob the Science guy that's been on before. Absolutely not. You're not blocked in chat. You're not blocked at all. Life is Short has also joined us. How you doing, Life is Short?
Hey, Nathan. Hey, Ranty. Hey, everybody.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, Travis. How's it going?
It's been a
Bob
pleasure,
the Science
Ronnie.
guy had to go to court for sexual misconduct with his work.
We don't care. Shout out to Eagle Plane and Anchor for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Ad Hompy, who cares?
I do. I want to know the type of people I'm talking to.
attack their arguments. It doesn't matter what type of people they are. They could be convicted criminals putting across a globe argument from jail for all I care. It doesn't matter. The argument is all that's important.
I guess we have to agree to disagree.
Well, sure, because you haven't got any arguments for your religious belief in a sphere Earth, so all you can do is ad hom people and attack their person and their character. That's all you do.
I think the Earth is flat.
You think the Earth is flat now?
Yeah.
As of when?
I've always thought it was flat.
Oh, right.
I think the scientific evidence supports the sphere Earth, but we live in a scientific dictatorship, so I don't necessarily believe it.
So what you're saying is because the current scientific narrative, which is put across by the mainstream media, is globe, you brace against it and think it's flat. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, because I've seen where we're lied to with science.
Shout out to, I can never read it, Leonardo Gonzalez, I think it is, with the glare. Thank you very much for the super chat. We've also been joined by The Plain Truth.
Hello, what ho?
Hello.
Hey, I'd like to listen to Travis from Life is Short. I really would.
Hey, Travis.
Hey guys, hey, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on Ranty's footage. I think it's great. I think it's showing it's that compression of the boat, and I agree with what Nathan said as well. It's sitting on, it's kind of right on that plateau region within perspective, and the horizon is that diffraction limit. So essentially, an object will ascend within your field of view to this kind of a plateau region, where you're receiving the smallest angle of light, and that's that horizon point. But the compression of the boat is caused from refraction of the light before it gets diffracted through an aperture. So there's an emission layer. Essentially, the water is giving off a heat layer, right? The temperature is a little bit warmer above the water than it is higher up, and it creates this gradient as it goes up. And when this gradient kind of rapidly dissipates, you'll see this compression phenomenon, just like in Red Pill's footage of all those floors, how they get compressed and squashed down. It doesn't mean that they can't be obstructed, though. It's like two separate issues. So it's not that everything that we see is compressed down to nothing on the bottom. It's okay to, in other words, my point is it's okay to have obstruction within a frame of something from the bottom. I think in Randy, in your photo, I think you're right. I think the bottom of that boat is squished down, and you're seeing almost all the boat, but it's okay to have some of that boat missing, maybe just the bottom foot or two of it. It's okay. There could be a small wave, within perspective close by, because you're on this plateau region that extends for miles. So I put out a new video. I hope you guys can watch it. I know I meant for this to be a summary. And so there's about 4 slides in the beginning that is the summary, but then I did some observations where I put some golf balls on the ground within a long corridor, and spaced them out and just started to do a lot of math on really how perspective works. And it's pretty amazing how it works, in my opinion. It's something that is not simple. It's not easy to figure out that it's just straight lines. But I think it ends up solving some of the problems that people are having with it's a curve or it's not a curve. Like I think Ronnie was on, and he was saying how when Ranty puts his camera down, he's giving some kind of false impression of curve. Well, that's just what imaging through a convex lens does, and you'll kind of see how that works out and what the math is.
Sorry to interrupt. So that video is called A Concept for Vision, and I've just literally this second spammed it in the chat, so I'll put 3 links to Life is Short's channel with that specific video, A Concept for Vision.
Yeah, and on the tail end of that, I kind of discuss a little bit about the inferior mirage. I know, Ranty, your original observation was going to go out and go through that. If you saw an inferior mirage, am I correct? Just correct me if I'm wrong. But you were going to, shine a light through that region and see if you could see it as if the mirage zone is above the true horizon point. Yeah. In other words, the apparent, in your opinion, the water line that you can see is the horizon zone. Is the horizon? Is that correct?
Where the lower part of the inferior mirage, I think, is in the partly over the atmosphere and partly over the water, but it's not a true reflection of where the horizon is.
Okay, so the only issue I would have with that is my opinion is that I think the top of the inferior mirage is the true horizon point, and that you have varying kind of false horizon points below that until you see an apparent water line. And the reason, and Nathan has it on the screen there. So if you look at the left picture where there is no kind of emission zone and you're like a 6-foot observer above those waves, if you were to, and again, it's hard to do things orthographically and then put it in perspective, but what would you see if there were no inferior mirage, right? Picture that in your head. You would see the water go completely up to your midline, right? Now let's put, but you know that there's a 6-foot gap between your eye and the water because you're standing up on the beach, right? But your eye is going to place that water line right at the midline, okay? Now let's put this emission layer in there, and we'll say it's an emission layer to the point where it creates such a less dense medium that it internally reflects the rays coming off the sky above, and you don't even get to see the stuff coming off that distant water because they've been refracted down and away from your eye. The only thing you receive is the reflected light that's hitting and bouncing off that emission layer and inverting to your eye. And so in that scenario, the same perspective issue would occur. It's just that you'd create this inferior mirage zone below the purple line. Because remember, above the purple line, that sky is far above you and far away. So that's not part of what you see in perspective at that point. In other words, in my opinion, I think what you're saying is if I put my purple line below the inferior mirage, I'm now saying that the stuff above the true horizon is closer to me.
Yeah,
right? But it's not. That point is actually the furthest away.
The problem is you never get to see the true horizon. That's one thing. You know, I mean, you're never going to see weather without, you're never going to see anything without any kind of weather in the way, you know, so you're never going to get that purple line. That's just never going to happen. And, you know, and also with the boat as well. I mean, the boat will be below the horizon in the background. So the bottom of the boat will actually appear lower to you than the actual horizon behind it, which would appear higher. So that's why I'm thinking when you've got this inferior mirage going on the boat, if you was to lower your light source into that inferior mirage on the boat, it wouldn't be, I'm hoping that you'd be able to shine through that.
Okay, so here's my point with that. I agree with you that you would be able to, if you were before the purple line. So
yes.
That's
what it would be.
Image, if I am, you see how those boats were kind of traveling up within the inferior mirage, right? And they were moving up within it. They're still in water, right? They're not floating in the air. They're still within the water. And I agree with you. If they're within that zone, you could shine a light through it, and possibly, and if that boat was kind of enveloped in that dirty air, right? This emission kind of air. But let's say, like what Nathan said, so let's say now this boat has ascended within your perspective such that it is riding along the top of the horizon, right? The true horizon, okay? It's ascended within the inferior mirage, and it's now riding kind of on top of the purple line, and now it's starting to set with distance, right? So at that point, if you were to shine a light, okay, you can't get anything through that. Nothing will penetrate through that layer. It's gone to your vision. So that's my point. Before the purple line, right? You got to think in orthographically from a side view. Before the horizon distance, you can shine anything through it.
Yeah.
Afterwards, you can't.
Well, here's the thing. You see, I'm going back to Scotland to do another test like this. So in a little under 3 weeks or so, we should have performed it. I think it'll be on the 21st, so just under 3 weeks on the Sunday. And there's a whole bunch of us going. It won't just be the guys that went down to Wales, but there's a whole other bunch of people going as well. We're going to do all kinds of tests on that Loch Ness. So we'll be able to go past your point where you say, and we'll be able to put this to the test. We'll know one way or the other.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it'd be good. I'd like to see it. You can do some calculations on it. The issue is you kind of have to know how far you can actually see, right? Which means you would have to know your observer height, and you'd have to know the angular resolution limit of the camera you're using. And if you're using a P1000, you know, it's variable, but it goes from roughly, depending on the conditions, 1 arc minute down to what Red Pill showed in his, where you can get it down to, you know, about, you know, a quarter of an arc minute. But it depends on the conditions, right? Because the formula, there's multiple formulas, and they factor in a lot of different variables to see how far you can actually resolve something. But yeah, looking forward to it.
And with that, I will say, if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. However, if you're watching this on Nathan Oakley 1980, unfortunately, this is where we bid you farewell. So a massive, huge, enormous thank you to all of you for joining us on this live debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you'd like to keep up to date with the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
The norm, you know, upward refraction is the norm, and downward refraction is an extreme, you know, rarity, especially during the day. And so when you do that and you reverse the calculator and you flatten out the surface, right? So you make the 7.6R less the curvature, you create a curved ray across a flat surface, and then you make a calculation. And then I've applied this calculation to several of the observations that we've been discussing over the last month or so, such as Blackpool Tower, the CN Tower, the Kima Lighthouse in Texas from Jose's footage, the Sears Tower or the Willis Tower in Chicago, and then a little bit about how that the rainy Mount Rainier and Mount St. Helens photo with the how the peak in the distance is dropped below. There's a bit of analysis on how that occurs. So feel free to check it out. I meant it to be a summary, and it because I had some new stuff in there, I needed to explain how perspective really worked. And so it's a little bit complicated, and I had to go through it. So
cool.
If you're interested, I pulled up my video where I've got some mirror flashes through the mirage.
Oh, excellent! Yeah, that'd be interesting to look at.
Yeah, and I totally agree that it would happen prior to the diffraction limit. In other words, if something ascending within that mirror zone, you could potentially see something through it. But once that thing has set beyond it, it's gone to vision, because the mirror zone is just water, right? So in other words, if something is set beyond it, you would have to be shining something through the water to see it.
That's where I'm gonna disagree, and maybe we're not saying the same thing, so it might not be disagreement. But can you see my screen?
I see a landscape, snowy mountains.
No, that's Nathan. You got to click my icon.
Okay, hold on. I got you at the lighthouse.
Yeah. Okay. So the very top of the lighthouse you can see is black, and then it comes down. You've got a window, and that window is closer to the ground than it is toward the top. So right about here is where I'm going to say is the ground. Okay. And I'm gonna show you why in just a second. But what I'm going to say is that from here down, that's not the water reflecting the lighthouse at all.
That's a mirror.
Whatsoever. It's not the water. Okay.
Nice.
So our apparent horizon is right here at the base of the lighthouse. So if you didn't know anything about this lighthouse and you were looking at this image, you might think that the lighthouse was directly in the water. Okay, but it's not. So I'm going to push play. And then look right, you're going to just watch right over here. It was a very windy day, so pardon, I had my tripod, but it was still windy. So Brian, aka the brain, is standing right here, and we cannot see him. Okay, so I'm just going to push play. Just keep your eye there. There was a flash. There's another one.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree that of any of that, but you haven't met the diffraction limit yet. And the reason I say that is because look in the where that flagpole is, or just to the left there.
There was a bigger flash than we saw. I don't know if it got skipped or what, but there was.
So the diffraction limit would be the highest. It's hard to say where the horizon is in this video footage, but you can kind of make it out where is the highest mirror inflection point that you can see in this image. If you go to the left,
I was just trying to get it frozen on the flash. Did you see the larger flash though? There was a larger flash right there. Okay, so
that's where Brian's supposed to be.
Right.
I see it. There he is. I saw it.
Right there. Okay. All right. So this image right here is a replica cannon. Okay. So this cannon is standing on the ground. So this is an inferior mirage of the cannon. Cut it in half. Right there where the tip of my cursor is, that's the ground. Okay. So if we cut this in half, this mirror flash, cut it in half, that's where Brian is standing. And when the flash goes away, you can't see him.
Right. So, but to be clear, you think then that the water line that you're seeing is the true horizon? No. Okay. Where's
no,
the
I'm saying this is what I've been saying in the past couple of weeks. I'm saying that as I go from the very bottom of the frame, okay, I'm looking up perspective. I'm looking into the distance as the water is rising to my eye level and going farther away from me. At this point, the reflection blocks the water continuing to rise to eye level until it hits the ground. Okay. So it I think you had said it this way as well as I have. That is, if this were gone, you could see the land, you could see the water hit the land, and then you would be able to see the lighthouse.
And with that, I'm going to say also a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you joining in the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, for tuning in, smashing the share button, hopefully super chatting, subscribing if you've not done so already, and all that good stuff. Also, another massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this after show possible. If you need to keep yourself occupied after this premiering stream is over, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!